pocket strats, perhaps. I mean, in terms of what kind of pocket strats are there, obviously we don't know them because that's why they're pocket strats. But there are certain heroes that are more suitable than others. Which heroes would you think are the typical pocket strat heroes, if there's such a thing?
Ursa.
That's a pocket roast strat.
It's a man hero.
And then some. Can we just see like a 5-man TP? I mean,
level 1 Roche.
level 1 Roche.
Can't get more adventurous than that.
Well, a level 1 Roche where everybody TPs and gets it before, like, even if the other team will know they won't be there in time, it's still so risky. You're still in a LAN environment. Doubt it.
We just all promise to be quiet, right? We won't make any noises.
Yeah, audience, don't get hyped if something like that happens. Can't be too much spoiler here. Liquid, though, they're going to be banning out the Queen of Pain. They're starting to target G a bit more. His hero pool's starting to get limited up a bit, and we'll have to see where VersePro are going to go. And they're going to pick up a good standard grab here. The Darkseer is going to be set up for them. Team fight already established, and well, obviously won't be giving away a whole lot of information. So we look to the response of Team Liquid here. They could get that aggressive support for the Jarix hero if they'd like. You could even get the Tusk Undying duo. You want to get like Bash Brothers City.
Yeah, now this is the team that played to not very much success, by the way. Darkseer as a support. We have seen them pick up Darkseer first and then end with a Brood. Where DK Focus ended up playing the Brood and Darkseer went on the support role of FNG. Now they didn't win that game, but it is something that we have to keep in mind they could go back to, because it might have been something that they always wanted to try out and they just missed some timing that they wanted to get.
I think that was a disastrous drafting where they're like, okay, we start with Darkseer, oh wait, our lanes are not going to work out, let's get a Brood, and then, oh wait, we have a support Darkseer, and he got like 2 points in Iron Shell by level 5. It did not end up well. One thing I do want to look to for VP picking up the Darkseer early is drafting some sort of combo to go with it. I think too often in the past where teams just pick the Darkseer for his great laning, the quick mech, and that's great, and they like the combo in the mid game is non-existent. For example, in the last game, what we saw was Darkseer Winter's Curse. That's an amazing combo that won the game. I'd like to see a little bit more. We'll see if VP gonna get some sort of AoE wombo combo on their hands.
Ember Spirit Darkseer is already a bit of a wombo combo.
That's a lawnmower combo, not the team fight, but just run at you, lots of deeps.
Vacuum into Searing Chains, Battle Fury on the Ember Spirit. I mean, it could happen.
Imagine if they throw something like a Spirit Breaker on top of this duo already.
Or Slardar.
Yeah, or Slardar. VersePro could have a pretty significant start, but Liquid with their winter duo here, the Wyvern and the Tusk, can't fault on that too much. VersePro going to be ridding the Razor, and the response from Liquid is they get rid of the Ancient Aberration now.
So the AA, we saw Matumba Man playing the Necrophos yesterday, so that's something to be considered. Let's see if VP might take that hero out. It's definitely one of Matumba Man's comfort heroes.
Ban on the Undying here from VersePro. Don't want to be dealing with any sort of aggro dual lanes together with the Tusk could punish their safe lane farmer, so better to play it safe.
I like that Team Liquid's lineup kind of doesn't give anything away at this point. So all that VersePro has to go on are their bans. Age Deparation, you ban out a hero that you know be one that you want to pick up if you ban out an Age Deparation. At least one of the few, because obviously there's a few, including, for example, Dazzle, I was going to say. But then Dazzle got removed by Team Liquid by themselves.
Dazzle also rids the chance, I suppose, if they wanted to get, you know, something totally crazy, like VersePro like to do like a Huskar, let's say, but they have already established the Ember Spirit there, so I imagine that's not going to be the case. We look back to Liquid now, and we'll see if maybe the idea that they banned out this AA is because they want to build up some more hefty sustain. You already mentioned something like the Necrophos, which I doubt they would commit at this point, but we'll have to see if they decide to follow it up with maybe something else. Put it together, bigger instead of team fight. We said that the Western teams do like to go for something like a Night Stalker, could help to have that bit of silence to shut down someone like the Ember Spirit, but overall getting some control wouldn't be too bad of an idea, I suppose.
Now, make sure that we don't see G on too often, but did pull out yesterday was the Invoker. Did lose the game against Secret, but if the stars align, I feel like Invoker, to me, is somewhat forgotten. I mean, he's definitely picked, but maybe not as often as I'd like to see him. We have so much focus on kind of the mid-game team fight, and the man is about mid-game team fight. So probably it's not going to be a third pick. We might see it at the very last pick of the draft. We'll see.
Something that I was hoping that we're going to see, which by now I'm kind of starting to lose hope. But yesterday, of course, we saw Mind Control's Earthshaker.
Yes.
And that was sick. It was mind-blowing. I feel like he kind of secured that game for his team with his play. He's normally a very high impact offline already. I mean, if you compare him to DK Phobos is maybe a bit more calculated, while Mind Control is just, I'm going to go in, I'm going to go ham, I'm going to just kill everybody, and my team, he trusts his team. His team will back him up, which is, for Winter Wyvern, of course, it's a great pick to have if you have a player like that.
It was refreshing to see the Earthshaker back in an off-lane position like that, and Mind Control certainly showed a bit of justice there, and it might be something that could percolate some of the other teams to consider going back for it again. I wouldn't mind, but as you said, not looking too likely here, as Liquid do have this bruising duo between the Spirit Breaker and the Tusk. It's a lot of commitment and, being able to be in the nitty-gritty of these fights, and it could be something that Virtus.pro could look to punish, but for now they step off and get a good little Rubik support here. Plenty of spells to steal. It's good to have the telekinesis in case Spirit Breaker's looking to get in your face. A Stolen Winter's Curse could dramatically turn the tide of a fight. And overall, just a well-rounded grab. And also could limit some of the ideas that Liquid were looking to finish out their draft with.
Like an Earthshaker. If they still wanted to go back. I mean, that's one of those heroes that Rubik is always great against, because Fissure is so easy to steal and has such a big impact.
I think on the topic of Earthshaker, might not be the best pick against VP as kind of a general theory crafting purpose. For example, Earthshaker, yes, we saw some amazing mid-game team fight, but we have to remember that offlane Shaker doesn't really contribute much in the laning phase. And that's why we saw the Team Liquid getting away with, DC getting away with that jungle Coddle. If it was like kind of a more aggressive offlane, then Coddle would not have been a pick there. So now Bristleback will combine with Spirit Breaker and Tusk as kind of a run-at-you strategy. And that's going to give a lot of nightmare to a hero like a Rubik.
I want to say that, was the Bristleback played by Fata when they played it last? I can't help but feel like maybe that was the case or not.
They have not played it this tournament, at least.
I think the team that played Bristleback this tournament is TC.
Oh yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
He had a crazy good game with that. But are we a bit nervous at all? This is a lot of melee. This is a lot of meat right here.
And if you're going to go up against an Ember Spirit, I mean, you can only imagine a vacuum steering change that actually would happen.
Yep.
And Slardar is still in the pool. He is fairly tanky. If you can get a crush off there, I mean, people are going to die. That would also leave Virtus.pro with a very melee hero lineup, of course, and Winter Wyvern is amazing against that in return. Getting that Winter's Curse off on everybody at the same time. I would imagine that Virtus.pro still is also looking, of course, for that G hero, and I feel like they should be picking up a hero like maybe a TA or something right now, because otherwise we're going to see more heroes banned out for G.
What about a Viper? Viper could help kite around some of these big melee bad boys a bit and could help keep the distance. It secures his mid lane dominance. He doesn't quite know yet who he's going to be going up against, but there's not too many heroes that could pose too much of a threat for a Viper. Do you think that's a possible candidate here for G?
It's a great pick. If the teams were swapped, I'll be like, yeah, Fata, get that Viper out there, but not exactly a G hero. Definitely could play it. But, as we talked about sometimes in the past in this panel, one of the most boring heroes that you could play. Not exactly a lot of outplay opportunity on that hero, so I'm not sitting on the edge of my seat.
Maybe not a crowd pleaser, but sometimes a hero you might need to go to if you need a win, especially if you're facing a best of one.
I mean, against melee hero, I look back to the Invoker, right? That ice wall just shuts down melee hero. But
how about Wind Ranger?
Yeah, Wind Ranger is fine as well. I feel like Wind Ranger is always a good choice. Although we don't see him or her as much. Lich, Frost Armor against melee heroes. Chain Frost against melee heroes.
Nice to battle out the goo coming out from your Bristleback, and typically, as they say, you get a Lich because he's going to be going to a lane that you really want to win here. So
instant ban PL, by the way, and that kind of indicates that they're expecting maybe G to be playing the Ember Spirit. I mean,
I just can't help but get caught up on the fact that they banned a PL. I thought that hero was just gone.
We've seen PL win earlier in this tournament. I believe it was Liquid themselves that actually won with it, but it was only picked one. Slardar removed. It seems like it's the other way around. Slardar removed by Team Liquid by Virtus.pro instead, even though Team Liquid has not picked Slardar at all.
And they would have like 4 melee by that point. It's like, get a techies then. They wouldn't be able to do anything with the mines. So. But it just reminds me a bit of like Monkey Business' style. They're not afraid of who's melee, who's ranged. They love to just have this high tempo kind of a game. So I'm anticipating that Liquid are not looking to take this game very long. They're going to go right off to the races.
Okay.
And, oh my goodness, that's a Huskar grab right there. And can't get more manly than that. And I guess that's why AA might have been banned. So this might have been a premeditated pickup.
Wind Ranger is great against Huskar, though.
It is good against Huskar. Oh boy, Virtus.pro, I hope this one didn't catch him by surprise.
They don't have that much time left to think about what they're going to do with it, though.
Is Viper really bad against Huskar? He doesn't offer kind of that bursty bit of damage you need to finish him off, so now I'm like, it might not be the best idea.
I think the way you want to fight this Team Liquid lineup is take advantage of the fact that they all have to pile on and clump up to do damage. And you already have the Darkseer, you already have the Lich for kind of massive AoE crowd control. I think you pick one more hero on top of that and just give them the good old wombo combo. Gyrocopter is going to be the name of the game.
Forgot this is Nanyang after all, so Gyrocopter has to show up, and it's going to be the final grab here for Illidan, which does mean that G is going to be sporting that Ember Spirit here in the mid lane. So
He's done it one before in this patch. Successfully also.
okay. All right. Well, now that we see the 5-man spread between both sides, let's go ahead and just throw it out there. Predictions early here, Lumi. What are you thinking? Do you think the manly lineup of Liquid here is going to be enough to muscle their way through Virtus Pro?
No. I think the AoE wombo combo is gonna, like, if they win one fight, they will just snowball off of it. But they need that early call down.
What do you think, Shiver?
I think that Virtus Pro's lineup is maybe a bit more stable, a bit more conventional, easier to execute, while Liquid's lineup may be a bit more gimmicky. It definitely could work. If they have a good start, then yes, they can definitely do it, but my favor goes out to Virtus Pro at the moment.
Starting to understand why Curl felt like those best of ones is a good opportunity to pull out something funky here, and Huskar's gonna be that funky grab, and
We're
as
gonna
we
pull
hop
out
into-
something funky too.
I hope so.
Our commentators are gonna pull out something funky too.
Oh yeah, we got the dank duo over here, our commentators. It's LD and OD. Gentlemen, have some fun.
There we go indeed. Thanks very much, Dakota. I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go, David?
I was born ready.
Let's get
We got
ourselves-
more Dank. Oh, and Dankies.
Oh,
It's going to be a good game here.
Dankies as well. Brothers at heart.
Little
buddy.
Dankies.
Here we go, David. And we were hoping for some action, and of course, with that final pickup from Liquid, the Huskar, we're going to certainly get it on the Timberman.
Oh my god, what a Huskar game this is. They have like nothing to burst him down until they get really farmed on the Ember. But the Gyrocopter could be scary. Curveball, Owen.
Curveball indeed. It could be a snowball from Mind Control as he goes up to the high ground. They're supposed to get to spell. Can he quite find it? No, Illidan's going to be fine. Keep
The
himself
crowd
away.
size.
There was
They were ready
potential
that.
for a lot of action there indeed. And, I mean, this is the kind of play you want to be going for in a best of one. It's going to be chaotic. You don't really have time to sit around, play it safe. You've just got to defeat the other team into oblivion and not give them a chance to get themselves back on their feet. Because if that's something that VP's not too great at, that's going to be that. We saw them in the series against Secret. Secret got ahead in the early game. VP just played a little bit too passively, and they were unable to get back, which obviously is what led them to be in this lower bracket position. So I'm hoping we see a bit more of an aggressive play style from VP, because that is the kind of stuff that they're just absolutely bang on with.
It's really strange, right? Because they open the draft with the Ember Darkseer. These are two heroes that want to be extremely aggressive, but then they back off into Rubik Lich. Very passive supports to me. Rubik, not so much later on, but generally in the laning stage, unless he's got a very strong roaming partner, he's just going to be getting levels. So their laning stage will be very passive. In the mid game, they have the aggressive carries that can rotate, but Liquid are the stronger team at that point. So I think the way the draft ends with this Huskar pick, Liquid definitely the team that's going to be taking the fight to VP, and VP may actually have to play keep away, which is not really their style.
No, absolutely not. I mean, as you said, the fact that they have got the defensive capabilities means they're going to be able to deal with kind of the Spirit Breaker charging across the map initially. If they've got the Rubik TPs, the reactions from Lil, getting there with the telekinesis, there may be the opportunities to turn around Liquid's aggression if they go too aggressive, which is what I kind of like about the defensive supports here on VP. But at the same time, yeah, if Liquid are very careful about the fights that they choose to take and come out on top in the early game, it's going to be hard for VP to stick along for the late game.
So pretty much the expected lanes here. You're going to see the Ember Spirit Lich dual lane mid. Bristleback can be a tough matchup for melee heroes, but with the support of the Lich, he should be just fine, and Ember should get a lot of farm. Off-lane Darkseer, up against the Huskar, you will get zoned a bit, but tough to actually kill. As long as Phobos plays it safely, you can hear that crackling fire as he's forced off. And then we'll see for VP, safe lane Gyrocopter, but it's up against the big old bruiser, the cows in the lane. This is pretty terrifying, actually. Snowball with charge, you're not running from these two.
No, at the same time though, VP they can turn. You know, if they dive too far, Liquid go underneath the tower. Lil can set up so we have a telekinesis. If we're going to have the TP reactions coming in, we've already talked about the fact that the two cores can be aggressive early on. Even if it's a TP rotation from G in the mid lane to come up with a slight and a pair of steering chains, you do have the potential to turn if Liquid make any mistakes on the top.
Oh, they're going for it. RG on top, Snowball to follow up. Lil. Uh-oh, can he get it off? He tosses him back towards the tower. Mind control. Owen. He's low. They're
They've
turning.
got the rocket barrage. They're trying to move in. They're going to have the second one up in a couple of seconds. Lil is trying to go in here on mind control. Illidan has got those brown boots, so he's closing in onto the Tusk. He's trying to stand near the creep wave so the rocket barrage won't do too much. And Illidan looks like they're going to let him go off here. And mind control's going to be able to get off the cell. So the creep wave enough to stop Illidan trying to go for it there with a level 1 barrage.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Jerax creeping in on Phobos, but he has committed the Arctic Burn. So you can see level 1 Tusk Spirit Breaker, not all that scary. But you get level 2, you're going to have the point and bash, you have the snowball and the shards, and little old Rubik is going to be in a lot more danger.
Yeah, I mean, the Rubik as well, we've been talking about. It's one of the heroes that VP are really good with. Both Lil and FNG know exactly what to do on this guy. So as long as they can get a decent level, timing on the level 6, I have a feeling this Rubik can be very effective across the map. They already talked about in the draft that there's a lot of very nice spells for Lil to get his hands on. Top lane, they're going to try and go in again. Telekinesis here with the Rocket Barrage. Illidan chasing down Kuroki, just trying to tank up most of the damage here. And this is kind of the problem, as you said at the beginning. These are a couple of bruisers. They're going to take, you know, they've got a huge amount of HP. 750 on the Spirit Breaker, 625 on the Tusk, so Rocket Barrage at this point isn't going to do too much.
Yeah, that level 2 Rocket Barrage was a lot scarier, which he does have now, so they play it safe. At the same time, the Gyrocopter, he's farming well. The Ember Spirit also doing extremely well mid, as you'd expect with the Lich, so for me, the lanes are going extremely well for VP thus far. Huskar, the one hero that's farming reasonably well, but he doesn't have great base damage, and he has to fast hit under the tower constantly because of the Darkseer. So you see Matumba Man, CS not that impressive considering that he's had some help early on. Phobos doing well in the off lane. So far the lanes are going great for VP. For Liquid, it's the mid game. It's when they get like the Huskar armlet, Embraces leveled up a bit, maybe if the Witcher's Curse, that's when Liquid want to fight, but the way these lanes are going, and it's going to delay the onslaught.
Yeah, and especially in the mid game where you look at Liquid's lineup and they've got the capability of keeping the Huskar alive. Even if it's just something on the lines of a defensive snowball, they've also obviously got Jerax here on the Wyvern. They're going to allow the Huskar to turn up the fights very early on and have a good chance of surviving through them, which maybe a bit of a different story here for VP. I mean, yeah, they've got the defensive capabilities in terms of turning things, but they can't really heal anyone up until they've got the Darkseer with that mechanism, and they're going to go for this here in the mid lane. I mean, FNG and G both fairly low. He has got 2 points in the Flame Guard in the chains if he wants to charge out.
Oh, they saw him!
I think he's alright, and it's actually
while
going to
that's
be bottom
happening,
lane.
Phobos gets solo kill bottom. We're off to a great start here, Owen.
Absolutely.
Oh dear.
I think
That's a hero that normally it's not an easy kill, but he just took too much fire spear damage. Ends up going out. Now the charge through the trees.
They
He's
didn't
coming.
expect Kuroki. He was hiding there. Holds on to it. They're going to find FNG. G's going to be fine with his
Crouching
infantry
cow
though.
in the trees. You don't see that very often. Who knew cows could be so sneaky?
And I bet it was intended from Kuroki. He meant to cancel that charge early, hide in the trees. He was thinking about the long-term plan, and it certainly worked out there for Liquid.
Still G farming very well here, but with the kill
He needs
bottom.
to be careful. He's got 3 cool spray stacks on him. Yeah, lower mana though. Bristleback's going to back off here.
Yeah, he'll get the heal up a bit from FNG, refilling the bottle. Now they're going to nuke. They may re-engage, but no flame guard. It's going to be a tough kill. Those quill stacks up to 2.
Oh, he might just go back in faster here. There's a lot of stacks, as you said, but G backs off.
Get off my back!
Yeah, they're going to be fine here, and Fata will be able to... Yep, he's got the 4-minute rune damp on him as well, so a bit of fortune here for the Bristleback. He's going to be able to heal himself back up, but already in terms of CS, the fact that G, he's still being able to keep on top of the Bristol on farm, 24 for 9, and obviously largely down to the fact that he has had that backup from Lich in the mid lane for the most part.
I do like this very early point in Ice Armor from FNG. You see some players get the 2 points in sacrifice, but you're up against massive physical damage, especially from the Bristleback, and as you've seen, the Quills have already done a lot of work, so bit of an adjustment on the Lich. There's a hero that can have a slightly flexible build. Sometimes you'll even see players won't max the Frost Blast, and I think in this case it is the correct adjustment. So now G getting scouted out here by Mind Control.
Yeah, they have got Fata as well if they want to try and move in, but it looks like they're just playing it safe, just trying to fend G back, trying to let Fata catch up in terms of CS. And bottom lane, I mean, obviously earlier Phobos giving up his life there to the solo Huskar. He's got to be a little bit more careful now, and he's level 4, so I'll be interested to see if we do see him back off to the jungle at this point, as there's also the Wyvern. Jerax is hanging around bottom as well, so it's not too much of a nice place for the Darkseer to find himself alone.
Darkseer dies bottom, obviously not desirable, gives Huskar a very fast armlet, but he's still getting his levels. Ultimately, he's left to his own devices bottom. The key thing is they're farming Ember and Gyro right now as they make the move on mid. Fata jumping in, but G will retreat. The chains are there. He keeps on diving.
Yeah, with this charge as well, Mind Control's coming in. He's got the snowball and the shards combination. I think G's in trouble. Here's the TP reactions coming in. They're going to jump onto G. The flame card's doing a lot, but it's not enough. Telekinesis there, and they might just be able to turn this one out.
Oh, Kuroki keeps on going. FNG now juking through the trees, but not enough. They lose the Bristleback on the way out. Kuroki wants to get the hell out of here. There's too many rockets. They lay into his rear. Down he goes. It's a 2-for-1 exchange. They grab the Ember, but maybe Jurex. The trade gets up onto the high ground. They don't have a lift. He will make it out.
2-for-1 there for VP. Very nice TP reactions there from the side. And while we're seeing the power of the 75 cost TP scroll there, everyone just comes to the mid lane. We talked already about how both teams are going to be ready to fight. VP more so on the defensive, and they did everything they could there to turn that fight around and make sure they came out on top.
Oh. Tumba Man with a shiny new toy.
6 minutes in.
He's got the dunk as well. Rubik, currently no mana, does have the mango. You cannot let him dunk you, or you're just flat out dead.
Yeah, especially with a fair few TPs being on cooldown from that last fight here for VP. And I'm going to see a charge onto FNG just from base at the moment. There are 3 heroes towards the mid lane on the Dire, so can probably not follow through here.
This is what they want to be doing at Liquid. Break down the laning stage. Gyro's level 6, but take these small fights where the TP rotation isn't going to get like that 4 or 5 hero cooldown. And speaking of Kuroki, this is a long journey.
He's really going for it. I was going to say, a little bit too deep here for Kuro.
There's not going to be much meat left on his bones at the rate he's charging. He's getting a workout this game. Double damage rune does spawn bottom now. We're going to see a Belt of Giant Strength coming out. Fauna completing the treads. But this is the stage of the game where Huskar starts sieging. You get the armlet, you can tank tower shots a lot easier, you have the extra regen, and you just keep on chipping away. So anyone tries to come bottom, they're going to get dunked. Already level 3 Berserker's Blood. Once he hits level 9, that's generally where you see the max Berserker's Blood, and then Huskar becomes incredibly difficult to kill.
Of course, and there's always the potential for Liquid to try and go for Roshan with the armlet Huskar. The fact that they've got the Bristleback as well with the armor reduction, but it's never really going to be the fastest of ones, so it could be a bit of a risky play. And at this point of the game, I feel Liquid are going to be feeling very confident in the position they're in, and they're not needing to take those kind of risks at this point.
It's a tool in their their war chest, basically, but not something they want to go for right now. They want to get the kills first, ideally take a tower, possibly buy a medallion on one of your supports, and then absolutely you can go into the Roche Pit. And at the very least for Huskar, you'll need the Mask of Death for the lifesteal. Or Morbid Mask, rather.
Yeah,
this is the old cat.
I'd imagine that's what Wyvern is going for here. He is looking for that medallion there with the Sage Mask picked up. And yeah, they can definitely take it down, of course, a lot quicker than VP's lineup, really. I mean, Jara obviously eventually will get a Helm. They'll be able to try and do it, but Liquid definitely have the potential to go for Roche a lot sooner than the Dire side, which is quite a key thing that I feel that in drafts when you're on the Radiant side, because you know that a lot of teams, if they've favored and if they've chosen the Dire side, they're looking to use that advantage. And when you know that your draft's just stronger at taking the Roshan, you just got to go for it at the point of the game where you maybe about the 15-minute mark where Liquid will feel that they've got the safety to do it under VP's nose.
It's a very noticeable difference in drafting style as they throw out the shard stop lane, not going to go. That a lot of teams will look to play much more of a pushing and aggressive style on Radiant and more of a defensive Roche-centric style on Dire. A little bit less so perhaps in the latest patch, but I know it's something a lot of the pro players have talked about. You just have to have a different approach because of the differences in sides. Less so than the old days with the old Roche Pit, but it is still definitely Dire favored there. Things are nice and slow here, Owen.
And it's calming down at the moment, 10 minutes in, which it's favouring both sides really, man, because the fact that this Huskar just hasn't felt the need to fight. Matumba Man staying on top of the net worth. They do have a Jara and an Ember on the other side, so there's always going to be that potential that if the game goes to a certain timing, VP will have the edge in terms of a lineup. But there's going to be that real peak at the later parts of the mid-game where Liquid, if they continue this flow, the Bristleback and the Huskar, they're just going to be running at the side of VP and there won't be a lot that they can do to turn it.
Yeah, VP definitely winning the farm war though now. They do not stack Ancients at all, something you see a lot with Bristleback, or at least you used to, often with an IO, but no stacking really. Liquid, they're just not as good of a flash farming lineup in general. They're decent if they're stacking Ancients, but minus that, the only hero that really clears stacks quickly is the Wyvern, and Jarex is a paltry level 3. You compare this to like FY's Wyvern yesterday. At this point, it was level 5, level 6. Oh, here they go.
They're going to go with the lead in telekinesis. They've got the cooldown as well. All the damage down at the part of the Chain Thrust. A little bit unnecessary, but they wanted that Bristleback dead. Obviously, Fada at the moment are having a pretty good time in the mid lane in terms of keeping on level with the Farmer G.
I feel like Fada may have done something terrible to their family members, but Tumble down!
Oh! That was not some Dr. Lee level armlet toggling. That was not ideal.
Very tough to toggle of my Max Rocket Barrage. But Jesus. Not worth. Gets the tower, giving a kill away. At this stage, Huskar is so tempo reliant that, yeah, maybe like you get the gold from the tower, but you lose some of your advantage on these heroes. And as Huskar, you want to be ahead so you can just dive them and tank and fight through just the endless swarms of defensive units. So definitely a mistake there. Phobos also getting close to a mech. Things are looking excellent here for VP. Do you see the gold And experience graphs really starting to tip their way.
Yeah, it certainly seems like VP are playing the best at this position. They've got a few heroes positioned up here on the top for Liquid, and TP coming in as well from Matumba, man.
Yeah, this is what you need to do with Huskar. You can't just sit back and farm your lane. There's better heroes for that. The playstyle has to be run at people, dive people, dunk them under their tower, in front of their family and friends, and then call it a day. But tough to do when VP are just playing so defensively.
Yeah, and this, of course, this Die Observe order up just stopping any chance of them being caught out by Matumba Man or Kuroki, as he was revealed by earlier on. So they're going to be fine up here in this top lane and keep themselves back and at least not go in until they're ready to jump in with the full TPs and maybe even try and find a kill onto the side.
They're really afraid of getting counter-gagged. It's something that I think you and I were talking about a little bit before the draft ended, is VP not the best initiating lineup, but if you dive them, that's where they excel. They get the back wall off, the call down comes through, Ember's a great counter-ganker. And the issue I see for Liquid right now is they don't have much lockdown to kill Ember, so he can pretty much run around the map doing whatever he wants. You charge him, if he sees you coming, he just chains you, you can even sleight of fist to dodge it. The Wyvern has no mobility right now, so Liquid not really able to gank the way that they would like to. It seems like they're just going to have to resort to brute forcing towers.
Yeah, mid lane at the moment as well. Phobos, he's not going to go for anything here, just himself and FNG, and it looks like top lane, they will allow Liquid to take the tier 1, but they'll just look for the trade. Illidan should be able to get the CS on that tower, and he will. Just a tower for tower.
And these are very VP favorite trades to me, because they're the lineup that, at this stage of the game, still needs a lot of items to fully come online. Yeah, Gyrocopter's a good team fighter, but your Ember doesn't have a whole lot. But they have the mech now, and if they're able to just turn this into a farm war and trades, that really favors them moving late, especially because Liquid has not been prioritizing stacking or any sort of economy. And the Wyvern, one of the most important teamfight heroes, is still only level 4 at 30 minutes.
Yeah, the level 6 is going to be pretty huge as well, because in terms of lockdown, heroes like G on the Ember Spirit, you're going to need it. You've got the Charger at the moment, obviously, from the Spirit Breaker, but Bristleback, Huskar, they're not going to be able to lock him down and stop him from remnanting out. Other than that, you've obviously got the Snowball from Tusk, but Winter's Curse is going to be absolutely necessary for Liquid to take the fights and get the kills onto G.
Oh, there's no TP on G. They're painting it out now. They want to make a go mid. Let's get the tower.
Come on, VP. Come on, give us a fight. Lil's hanging around at the moment, just throwing out the Fade Bolts. Just going for the slow siege.
They can't even do that. There's Frost Armor.
Yeah.
He has no TP. They frantically pin out, like, we got to punish this. They can't punish it.
14 minutes in, VP understandably playing it safe, as you said. They'll be happy with the tempo that this game's kind of fell to. And Matumba, his goal is to try and fight something with this guy. He's starting to rack up the gold again. He's got 1,300 now on top of the mask and the armlet. So maybe he'll feel more confident to try and go for some action here. G's just going to come down, spot out mind control. Oh, actually, stands around with a straight up punch in the Tusk Snowball, but after that, there's going to be no more lockdown. The Chain Frost bouncing around here, only bounces the once, but Man getting the damage down onto Lil. And it looks like it will just be the Rubik dropping here. Nice cooldown from Illidan, but they don't have the follow-up. Is he going to go back in here?
Oh, he might die here. There's an armlet toggle, but Man, very difficult to finish off. He fights, he toggles, he lives!
Oh, and now he's going for more jump straight forward onto Phobos. The charge follow, the Snowball as well. He's locked down. Now G's walking in.
And now G trying to charge it on his own. No, see you later. This ain't my fight. Quick triple kill from Matumba, and Owen right into the Roche pit.
Absolutely, and this is what we're talking about. Liquid, they've got the potential to take the Roche. They take one good fight, they're going to go straight into the pit and take it down at a pretty decent rate. And VP were just all over the place there. Illidan came in with a cooldown from the back, fair enough to get the slow, now get yourself out, but he just walked straight into it.
Well, speaking of walking straight into something, Kuroki in the middle of 3 heroes, completely chain stun. Slight will finish him off for the greater good, I suppose.
Oh, is he going to go into it? Oh, no, he's not. A little bit too risky there.
I've seen so many Embers this tournament make that exact play, jump in, not get the Aegis, and just die, so probably for the best he doesn't.
Oh my goodness, that was, a little bit of a mess there from VP. Obviously, the consolation prize, the fact that they do get the kill onto the Spirit Breaker at the end.
It looked like Illidan was hoping for a vacuum to prevent the armlet toggle so that they could just finish the Huskar, but it's only a level 1 vacuum, so he wasn't even in range for it. Even if he gets it off, I'm not sure it's enough. This is not when VP should be fighting. They should be doing what they were doing earlier, which is take trades, avoid fights, split push, stack, abuse their advantage in terms of economy, and just delay. Once they get the big damage items on the Ember, then they can look to burst the Huskar. But this is when Huskar is all grown up. You know,
this is
he's ready to rock and roll.
16 minutes in, coming up. He's level 11. He's got the armlet, the lifesteal, and now the Sange. We've already talked about in the draft how VP's lineup isn't necessarily the best for dealing with a Huskar, and especially not a Huskar that's got this far ahead at this point.
The best way to deal with Huskar is ignore him. Run away. at least at this stage. And of course, it is a 5th pick Huskar. Worth mentioning, much like a Broodmother, this is one of those heroes you need to ambush your opponents with in a draft. You know, if they have a Queen of Pain, something like hell, even an Outhouse Destroyer, you know, one of those heroes that just has pure damage or heavy physical burst. Maybe not the best choice. Lina comes to mind as a more practical in the meta hero, but 5th picking it, I can't really catch you off guard. Illidan's getting charged top lane though. He wants some helicopter.
They have got mind control around as well. He's got a DT. This would be incredibly nice. He's going to go straight for the snowball in. There's a call out from Illidan, but I don't think he can turn this one around.
Oh, or can he? Gets up the dash. Krogi trying to run. Phobos is here, and so too is G. Mind control may be going up. It's going to be 2 for the other way. That's what VP want to be doing. Counter ganking, not forcing the issue. They got him.
Yeah, and they really got the back of Illidan there.
I don't really want this Aegis anyway.
Dancing around with death. But yeah, really nice turnaround from VP. And again, this is what we're saying. The reactions from VP are always going to be nice when Liquid overextend. And I mean, you can't blame Liquid though. There was no tier 1 on that top lane. They saw Illidan. They assumed that he'd be out far on his own. They have a Radiant Observer Ward in the lane. But in terms of coming around from the jungle, they didn't, you know, they weren't expecting that from VP.
Yeah, Matumba man, boy. He is playing like a man right now, just walking or prancing around the enemy jungle, and again, just ignore him. What's he doing? He's not actually taking a tower right now. Yeah, he's farming, but you're getting farm on your cores.
Kill him, though.
Maybe if they have 5. Yeah. This might be a chance, but TPs are coming, Owen.
The stolen charge from Lil, beautifully setting this up, but maybe Matumba man just turns onto Lil. Lil tries to keep it out, he's not going to make it, and Matumba man's still alive, trying to go for more. Will he get the toggle off?
They can't finally, but it's only the Aegis. VP, stop trying to fight the Huskar. They just keep on doing it. They pay. They pay a lot.
The quill sprays, He gets the gun. I think he goes with his father. Is he going to go? No, he's going to turn. Phobos will get out as well, but again...
They're just playing in the Liquid's hands. Like, Matumba man doesn't need to be ganked there. He prompted 3 TPs straight into a push. That is not the game plan versus the Huskar, especially not when he has Aegis.
It's really not. This is getting harder and harder for the side of VP.
They're going to try to end the game, maybe. They're thinking about going down mid. Thinking about breaking base, they have the Halberd now. Huskar is ridiculously strong. VP are all about spread damage at this stage until Ember gets like 2 damage items, and now one of them has to be an MKB as well, so won't be able to go straight for the Daedalus quite probably. They just can't kill him. So I think if you're Liquid now, things are settling down a little bit. You get your next round of items, you wait for the Aegis. VP maybe try to contest you there, but if you get the Aegis successfully, you push down these 2 tier 2s, Owen, and then you look to break the base.
Yeah, indeed. Liquid are going to be very happy with that bit of play, and that, yeah, they're having the Halberd. You look at VP's lineup, physical DPS, the Jar and the Ember. If the Tumberman's able to get in and get that Halberd down, there's not going to be any sign of BKB coming out in either of these 2 cores anytime soon, so... I don't know, this Huskar, as you said, it really was the pick here for the side of Liquid, and this is exactly what you've got to be going for in best of ones, just these cheese heroes that the other team doesn't expect, and they were just not prepared for it at all in the draft.
Yeah, you see that 5th pick Huskar, and you're like, your heart kind of sinks. I mean, we talked about it before the lanes even began, that this was an amazing Huskar game. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to win just because Huskar matches up well, because the hero has issues. He's not hugely mobile for the most part. He doesn't have lockdown. He doesn't really flash farm the way other carries do, so he has to find a lot of fights to be effective, but VP have given Liquid those fights. The fight bottom rune, an avoidable engagement that they chose to take. The fight we just saw mid, also completely avoidable and very ill-advised, so if VP are going to continue to play Liquid's game, they're going to end up in trouble. They're charging G. Fireman could be in trouble.
They have the lockdown though, he's going to go straight out. Yeah, that's the one strength, of course, of Ember Spirit against their lineup. We're talking about Huskar's strength against VP's lineup. Ember Spirit, the pick is still very good against the heroes that Liquid have, and it really does rely on having Jerax around with that Wyvern so they can get the Winter's Curse down to lock him in place.
This is definitely one of those where Muhammad Ali float like a butterfly, sting like a
VP. Here we go, charge onto Illidan. They're going to have the snowball as well, and Illidan, he's going to need some backup. There's a TP coming in from Lich, but I don't know if he can save him. Pops down the Frost Armor, maybe with a Chain Frost they can turn. Illidan's still alive, and he gets the cooldown off LD.
Oh, Kuroki, has he gone in too far? Dropping low, but Tubman looks to gains. There's the dog! MJ's in the house, he's found one, he went, oh, the wall of the vacuum wants to fall, but the damage from Matumberman's too much. He's found himself a double quick Jury, will kill Kuroki. He's on the chase, running after mind control, but nobody can kill this damn troll. He's got to jump away. Lil, scrambling back, my friends are dead. What happened?
Oh my goodness. I mean, the vacuum wall was beautiful, but there just wasn't the follow-up, and Matumba, man, is just spiraling out of control now. It's absolutely ridiculous, and
that's the beauty of
just
Spirit
can't
Breaker.
kill it.
Like, yeah, some of the other fights, VP, they could have just not taken them. This was one of those fights where you get dragged into it because there's a Spirit Breaker in the game. So that one, a more understandable VP get caught there, but now, and they're just getting to the point where these fights are even more impossible to take, despite Huskar not having Aegis, especially when he's not the one who gets jumped first. It's going to be a while before they can actually lock him down, and I mean, they may even have to rely on Rubik stealing a big spell, like potentially that Winter's Curse. That could be a fight changer, something that the analysts did talk about a bit.
Yeah.
And that you mentioned is there's a lot of good spells to see. Oh, bottom lane. Never mind.
Yeah, they had the Observer Ward out here, so they saw the movement coming in straight away from Liquid, so this is nice for I mean, he's playing it very safely. We're seeing him in the fights. He's not able to do a lot because he just hasn't got the damage, but he is closing in on that Battle Fury, and a good vacuum into a Battle Fury. That's a lot of physical damage, and it is something that Huskar's got to be a little bit worried about, but this Huskar's just so fat.
Here's the counter, and I'm going to put this in air quotes. They're getting the Silver Edge now in Illidan.
Ooh.
But the problem is, every time Huskar dunks, it makes him spell immune, so it purges it right off. And the dunk does not have a particularly long cooldown. Other issue is he still has the Halberd, so he's still going to be very difficult to burst, but maybe this Silver Edge can be the
Silver lining. That's what you should have used there, Aldi. Yeah, could have been perfect. But yeah,
That's why I had you here, Owen.
I'm looking forward to seeing if that is the item.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Owen, he was carefully crafting all his clever one-liners.
I always do.
Before this broadcast.
He's got prepare for
an encyclopedia of dank memes.
Thanks, Aldi.
He wouldn't give me a copy, though. I was a little upset.
You've already got your own. There we go, Silver Edge, Gyrocopter. I mean, I don't think VP will now go looking for fights. I feel that they're going to be stronger just waiting for Liquid to come to them. High ground defense is pretty good from VP. They can sit back. The Battle Fury is very nearly done here on G.
It's still going to be so hard to fight.
Yeah.
Like, even if you do get the Silver Edge off on the Huskar, there's also the Cold Embrace, and the magic damage is, it's there from VP, so maybe if it's timed perfectly I can see them killing him, but it's got to be perfect. Like, anything less than that, he gets healed up. They also have the snowball to save him, and then the fight just turns into a train wreck.
Yeah, it's and Kuroki as well. He may have died quite a bit, but he's always doing this. He's setting up the fights, allowing Liquid to go in, and with the charge onto Phobos, they're not going to follow it through here, so your heads up. Don't have any vision here in the jungle, the Radiant, so a little bit scared of running into that point.
Alright, time for the next Roche. Almost. Hey guys, just Huskar here, don't mind me. It's farming right in front of your base.
His farm is
pissing on their lawn.
ridiculous.
Not a whole lot they can do about it.
I mean, we do have Phobos closing in on that Blink Dagger, I'd imagine, next here for him. So that's going to be something else that Liquid have to be scared of. Because we have seen the combos come out from VP, but they've just not been enough. They've been getting lovely vacuum walls. The Chain Frosts have been fairly good as well to follow up, but the physical DPS hasn't been there. Maybe with the Ember, with that Battle Fury, though. Having the Silver...
they found FNG! Just kidding.
Yeah,
Things
VP,
calm down a bit.
They've got to play very, very carefully here. One more bad fight for them, and Liquid are just going to be able to start to storm the base. And
it is a tenuous lead, though. Liquid, as much as they're ahead right now, overextending the VP, you can quickly get team wiped, especially if the Silver Edge is used at the perfect time. Even Huskar is vulnerable, so they still want to wait for the next Roshan. They'll probably look to take the tier 2 top with that, and then you, in a very organized fashion, siege the base. Put the Huskar in front. If they don't have a Solar Crest, may want to build one. At the very least, you do have the Glimmer Cape to help protect him even further if he starts taking too much damage. And you just leave him up in front, slowly chip away. Fonda gets the AC. They don't... if you full Divide, 5-man, diving their tier 4s, that's where Liquid can almost instantly throw the game. So they do have to be careful. If VP ever gets this to an even gold lead, and they manage to get like that first key damage item on the Ember and after the Battle Fury, like an MKB, for example, and on the Gyro, then things can quickly fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, G is about 1k away from picking up a Crystallis, so even just having that crit on top of the Battle Fury, that could be the fight-changing item, and AC done, as you were saying, that's... Oh boy,
Extra
25 minutes in. I mean, we've been talking about Matumba Man's progress, but Fata as well. He's been farming like an absolute god here on the Bristle.
Trying to move in. Mind Control will be scouted out by VP. The Ward sees him. They're going to commit a call down for this. He only gets hit once, and now they look to engage, but he snowballs forward. He's going in.
Oh, Liquid turn this around. Liquid Kuroki charging on Tillism. We'll pop the Silver Edge here. Mind Control's actually going to be the first to go down, maybe. He gets the mech off. The Chain Frost getting thrown back. G will get the kill.
Here's Huskar coming in, going to work with Matumba Man. Pretty healthy through this. Has the invasion. Lil's down. He wants more. On to FNG he goes.
Yes, and Lil's coming back in it, but you don't want to man fight this Matumba Man. Huskar is just going to turn and fight. This is not working out better than Chance comes through.
He laughs at VP. They roll him up. 3 down. It could be 4. Yeah, G's out of there again. He didn't save the Silver Edge for the Huskar, but even if you do, again, he can always just dunk it off. So they just can't really fight right now.
This is not ideal, and especially with this beautiful Roshan timing for Liquid. It's literally just come back up, and Liquid will now take this. And with the items like the AC, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Liquid go for a very aggressive push with the Aegis under their belt.
This is the Aegis you want to close the game out with. I think they can still go later, but this is when you want to do it before that next damage item comes out. Eventually there will be an MKB on the field. Ember starts to hit pretty hard with single target DPS around that time. Ideally, you just go now. Maybe take the tier 2 top first, which does appear to be the call.
And Ping's coming out, Farton's going to find himself a haste rune. And Huskar, did he spend that money? He had a lot saved up here. What's he got?
Something coming on the courier. It is, oh dear.
Completed 26 minutes in. You are not killing this man. You really are not killing this man.
Matumba Man is God now.
Yeah.
Basically, bow down, pay your respects, and pray for mercy.
I mean, not to take anything away from the rest of Liquid, but this pick and this performance has been pretty much the major bit in them looking to win this game because
look at this! I mean, I said not to dive tier 4s, but honestly, now with the Satanic, maybe they can.
G just moving forward here, getting the slide out. I've got to be very careful.
Siege the tower, keep your supports back. No need to get fancy. Matumba Man starts to drop low, but he has the Satanic if need be. He's going to heal himself. LOL, just can't burn him now. Now he's under their tower, and he's healing up. He's giggling to himself. He'll bring it down, and he's looking for more.
Yeah, G's trying to fight around and get the slide back onto the supports behind him, but they just can't stop this man.
Even with the Frost Armor, he just keeps on going. This troll is relentless.
With the Aegis as well. Mind control, there's around, has the mech.
What do they do? Do you go in and die, or do you just let him pick the racks and then he goes for the second?
They're going to try and go in, but there's the dunk as well to remove it, and straight up, they got the telekinesis response. It's a nice call out, but there's your Winter's Curse, Ellie.
Oh, the Chain Frost bouncing through. For what good it'll do. They don't care. They shrug it off. They dive will. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, and more. Lich is down. G scatters. Kuroki is diving. They're going to go back for the racks now. This is looking bleak.
Yeah, and G comes in, but the Matsuma Man just dives forward. They'll be going to get out. They'll get the telekinesis onto Matsuma Man.
If only that dragged you all the way to the fountain.
They just can't turn. He's going to have the Satanic back up in 10. Still got that Aegis.
Oh, and do you think this game ends with a Huskar Rampage in the enemy fountain?
I don't think we'll see a Rampage.
Alright.
I think we'll just see a GG.
The people want a Rampage. Come on, Matumba Man, don't disappoint your fans. G trying to cut off the backliners, but they can't ignore the Huskar, yet they kind of have to. G, he can't even finish off Fada. They move in for more. This could be 2 lanes.
This is going to be so disheartening here for VP. Just seeing this one hero just destroy everything that you went out
and with
set
it,
out to
crushing
do
their dreams, their hopes of advancement. Liquid are forcing VP to crumble.
It's BKP now on fire, so they've got a Blink Dagger on the Wyvern, so the Winter's Curses are going to be even better. Look at this difference he got. It's coming up to 20k. VP... I mean, it could be another Rapier game here for the Ember Spirit. We obviously saw it earlier. It didn't work out. Maybe this time it could, but he's got a long way to go.
Honestly, even if he has a Rapier, I still don't think they can kill Matumba Man. Give him a free Rapier, I still think Matumba Man does not die here.
Yeah, and I don't think Liquid are going to give them a chance to hold as well.
I don't think they're giving him a free Rapier either.
They're just going to start pushing around the bottom lane, get the creep wave in, and look to take that third set of racks as soon as possible.
This is a tough way to go out if VP do end up being eliminated like this. Not a good feeling. Just, you know, 5th pick Huskar, no counters available at that point. You just gotta hope for big out plays, but it was Matumba Man getting them. Finding a solo kill on Darkseer early. Generally not a hero who dies to Huskar, though he struggles to lane against him, but you can always sit back with the Iron Shield. That helped start the snowball, but even if there isn't a solo kill there, it's just such a good Huskar game from the draft that VP needed to win this through playstyle and just avoid fights.
Maybe just be careful because there's a Winter's Curse, and if Jarrett's can get it off now, okay, the Remnant out straight away.
That was a close call.
Yeah, needs to be very careful when he comes in close proximity. Maybe he didn't realize the Blink Dagger was on Wyvern.
He wants to cut the wave and stall because he knows Liquid are just trying to get the Megas now. Here they go. I'm back!
And we saw this on the top lane in the mid lane. He's just going to sit there, hit the tower, hit the racks, and... What's the answer here from VP? They didn't have it the 2 times before. I don't know if they can have anything different this time.
Soulless lies in the GG, perhaps. One last stand. Lil, gonna get revealed now. Still Matumba Man keeps on going. Jump now, or rest in peace.
Oh, vacuum towards the 3, the slide comes through, but they just pop the BKBs. Crimson Guard's now done as well. There's a curse onto Illidan. That's one down, and they're going to just look for more here, Liquid.
Oh, well, Matumba Man held in position for the time being, but still alive. Just says, screw it,
Just hit
forget
the
about your
racks.
team. I don't care if they all die. Gee, you can have them all, but I'm taking the racks. Keeps on going.
And the team, VP, they're just dying anyway. They don't need Matumba Man to fight here, Liquid, and it's GG. Wow. Matumba Man, Husker. VP didn't expect it, and I don't know. LD, that was just...
People will call it cheese, and of course it is a little bit in the sense that it's just one pick that caught them off guard, cost of the game, but it was a very well executed cheese, and they drafted intelligently. They didn't go for the Husker early, they saved it for last pick. Perfectly played by Liquid.
Absolutely. Just looking at the scoreboard there, 11 for 1 on Husker. The performance from Liquid as a whole